Welcome to this overview of Martha Beck's book, The Way of Integrity, subtitled Finding the Path to Your True Self. Martha begins her book by making clear the use of the word integrity is not used in a moralizing sense, but in its original meaning of being intact, which means this book is about being fully aligned on every level, and as a result, life is better than you ever imagined it could be. As you are aware, society and organisational cultures set out things like what we should be doing and striving for. And most people then follow these rules and strive for these things. However, what we often ignore is that at some point we recognise life doesn't feel right or the realisation we're on the wrong path. And the reason we ignore it is because we think if we double down, things will come right. After all, we have invested a lot to get to this point. For herself, Martha describes this stage as, whenever my nature and culture disagreed, I'd sell out my nature, and hard. And it worked. I got all kinds of approval, which was my overarching life directive. On the other hand, I could barely tolerate things like, being alive. So how to know when something is just a hiccup on your right path or a deep call to change your path? To assist with this, Martha sets out 6 error symptoms. The first error symptom is you are pursuing something because someone else thinks it's purposeful. The second, you are trying to shut up your negative thoughts and emotions without dealing with why these things are being experienced. The third is failing to see any connection between errors 1 and 2 and your health problems. The fourth error symptom is you are surrounded by people who love what you don't, or they're faking it as hard as you are. And this goes double if you feel trapped with people you absolutely can't stand. The fifth error is every task feels as distasteful as poisoned food and leaves you feeling just as weak. And the sixth error is you ease the pain of errors 1 to 5 by developing a habit of anything that stimulates the brain's pleasure center. So the real question to ask yourself is, am I doing something because it's prescribed by culture or because it is aligned with my true nature? And that requires you to detect your hustle. For example, do I ever hang out with people I don't truly enjoy being with? Do I consistently make myself do anything or many things I don't really want to do? But what is the solution? Be open to the soul teachers in your life. They may be a literal person, or it may be a book or a song or a concept that is put in front of you. But whatever form it takes, a real soul teacher will draw your attention in a way that makes you feel inwardly driven. Because part of the lesson your soul teacher is opening your eyes to is your refusal to recognize the truth of the parts of your life you are in total denial of. This is not willful denial on your part. It is a survival mechanism that allows you to keep going as you are. It allows you to deny you hate your job, you have an alcohol problem, or whatever the issue is for you. Which means the first step back to wholeness is to take one step towards one of the things you do not want to think about. But keep in mind, your worst suffering comes from the thoughts that you genuinely believe while simultaneously knowing they aren't true. This sounds like an oxymoron, so consider when we are asked how we are and we automatically say we're fine. Most times we do feel okay, but that isn't the whole story. It is just what we have been socialized to respond. Therefore, to break through your pre-programmed stories, you need to first observe your suffering. Then question each belief related to the suffering by asking, is this thought true? And how do I absolutely know that thought is true? And then, once you recognize the truth of your suffering, allow yourself to move on. You can apply this process through the technique of moving backwards step by step from the moment of the event or what you are feeling. Think of this like a slow rewind of a film. And as you see each frame, try to remember, what was happening around me at that precise time? What was I doing? What was I feeling? And what was I thinking? Until you hit the point, you know you were at a choice crossroads, and the choice you made is what brought you down physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Another variation of this is recognizing where, why, and to whom you lie. These might be black lies, which are related to deliberate, premeditated deception. Grey lies, the ones that allow us to continue to see ourselves as a good person, or white lies, the ones we tell to maintain social equilibrium. Martha shares there are two questions that help us differentiate between grey and white lies. First, could you be blackmailed by someone threatening to tell the truth you're hiding? And second, are you following the golden rule of do unto others as you would have them do to you? If you answer yes to the first, you could be blackmailed, or no to the second, you aren't treating others as you'd like to be treated, then the lie is grey. So how to start living congruent with the real you? Make a commitment to adjust your outward behaviour so you are aligned with your inner truths, or more simply, stop lying to yourself and to others. But start with noticing where, why, and to whom you lie, and only continue forward at the pace your desire to be whole allows you to overcome your fear of moving forward. Because studies in psychoneuroimmunology show if we plunge too quickly into any change, whether good or bad, our bodies and minds can't absorb the shock, and we have to grieve for what has been let go, even if we know it wasn't good for us. So be kind to yourself and allow yourself time and space to grieve your old way of living as you embrace your new choices. Once we've addressed our lies, the next area to focus on is our righteousness, the things where we want to fight back because we feel unjustly attacked. The process for this stage is observing what is happening inside us and then questioning why we are reacting as we are. And then consciously choosing to stay on the path of righteousness by taking the action we believe is needed to prove we are right, or choosing to follow what we know is right for us. Once we've completed this stage of reclaiming our wholeness, we are ready to start filling our life with the way we want to be living, which we do by repeatedly putting less time into what we don't love and only moving forward at the pace we feel comfortable doing so. This process is the analogy of a plane being 1 degree off course. The difference will have it ending up in a totally different destination to where it intended to be, although in our case we will be moving towards our personal Garden of Eden. So what will be your first 1 degree turn away from what you don't really love? This is a powerful but easy to read book that uses a light tone to cover a weighty topic. To guide our journey from following what society says we should be striving for to being aligned to what is right for us, Martha uses the framework Dante laid out in the Divine Comedy, which you may know through references such as Dante's Inferno and phrases like colder than the ninth circle of hell. The book is therefore divided into 4 stages, each of which reflects a stage of Dante's journey from the dark wood of error, our current state of sleeping through life, to paradise, living as we wish to be living. Each chapter has exercises, and these are designed to expand on the things covered in this overview and what you uncover as you journey back to being whole, which makes this a book a definite must-read for anyone who is tired of feeling torn between the face they are showing the world and how they are really feeling. Thank you for viewing this video. Please like and subscribe, and click on the notification bell to be advised when further book overviews are uploaded. And to help me grow this channel's reach, please share the link with others.